There are secrets that should never come to light. Marcus Westbrook had everything: mansions, power, respect. But for 12 years he hadn't spoken a name. Sophia, his daughter, vanished without a trace. That night, outside an ordinary restaurant, a dirty girl handed him a drawing, a blue butterfly with golden spots, exactly the same as the ones Sophia used to draw. Claire, his girlfriend, whispered something he didn't want to hear. "She looks like your missing daughter." Marcus pushed away, denied, fled. But that night in the darkness of his office he opened a box that had been closed for years. Inside, an old drawing, the same butterfly, the same mistake, a part left unpainted. He went back to find the girl. When he found her, she was crying, and she said something that froze his blood. She said, "I should call my mum when you came back." Before he could react, a woman appeared from the shadows. Miss Aurora. Frightened, protecting the girl as if she were a deadly secret, Marcus demanded answers, but what he was about to discover would change everything he thought he knew about that night, the night Sophia disappeared. Because not all disappearances are kidnappings. There are men who build empires to escape pain. Marcus Westbrook was one of them. 12 years ago, his life split in two, one half full of light, a little girl's laughter, drawings stuck on the refrigerator. The other half, silence, investigations that led nowhere, and a question that was never answered. Where is Sophia? His daughter was 7 years old when she disappeared. A Sunday afternoon, they were at the park. Marcus answered a business call. Just 3 minutes. 3 minutes that cost him everything. When he turned around, the swing was empty. The wind moved the chains, as if she had never been there. The first days were pure desperation. Police, detectives, cameras, witnesses. Nothing. Not a trace, not a clue, not a single lead that would take him to her. His wife, Rebecca, couldn't bear the weight. She left 6 months later. There were no screams, just silence. She packed her things and left a note. "I can't be in a house where every corner reminds me we lost our daughter." Marcus was left alone, in an empty mansion, with portraits of Sophia he couldn't look at, with a box of drawings he never opened again. He decided then that pain would serve no purpose. That crying was a waste of time. That if the world had taken the only thing he loved, he would tear from it everything he could. He built 3 more companies, doubled his fortune, bought buildings, land, stocks, opened foundations in Sophia's name. Foundations that in reality were just tax strategies, nothing more. His daughter's name became a brand, a symbol, but he never spoke it aloud again, because saying Sophia was accepting she was gone. And Marcus Westbrook didn't accept defeat. The years passed. The wound didn't heal. It just got covered with layers of indifference. He met Claire 3 years ago. She was an architect, worked at one of his construction companies. She was different from all the women he'd known after Rebecca. She didn't care about money, wasn't impressed by mansions or cars. She looked him in the eyes and saw something others didn't see. A broken man. Claire tried with infinite patience to make Marcus feel again, to laugh, to remember he was still alive. But there was something about her that made him uncomfortable, something that disarmed him. Claire believed in second chances, in miracles, in life being able to surprise you. Marcus didn't believe in any of that. It was a Friday night. It was hot. Claire had insisted they go eat at a normal place, no 5-star restaurants, no private reservations. "I want you to remember how real people live," she had told him. Marcus agreed only because he knew arguing with Claire was pointless. They went to a small restaurant downtown, one of those places with plastic tables, yellow lights, and the smell of home cooking. Dinner was quiet. Marcus ate in silence while Claire talked about her day, about a new project, about a family she had met. When they left, the fresh night air greeted them. The streets were full of people, street vendors, families walking, children's laughter playing on the sidewalk. Marcus walked fast, as always. Claire was behind, looking at everything with curiosity. That's when she stopped. Marcus kept walking a few steps before realizing he was alone. He turned around. Claire was standing still, staring at the side of the street. "What's wrong?" he asked impatiently. She didn't answer immediately, just pointed toward a small figure sitting on the ground. A girl. She was barefoot. Her dress was old, faded, with dirt stains. Dark, tangled hair fell over her shoulders. In front of her was a shoebox full of handmade drawings. The girl wasn't yelling, wasn't begging. She was just there, sitting cross-legged, holding a drawing in her hands. Claire approached slowly. Marcus followed, annoyed. "Claire, let's go, it's late." But she didn't listen. She knelt in front of the girl. "Hello?" she said with a soft voice. "What's your name?" The girl looked up. Her eyes were large, dark, bright. But there was something in them, something Claire couldn't explain. "Lily," the girl answered with an almost inaudible voice. "What are you selling, Lily?" "Drawings, I make them." Claire smiled. She took one of the papers from the box. It was a drawing of a butterfly, blue, with golden spots on the wings. Claire froze. Her smile disappeared. Marcus, who was standing behind her, frowned. "What's wrong?" he asked curtly. Claire didn't answer. She just held the drawing with trembling hands and looked at the girl. "Who taught you to draw this?" she asked with a broken voice. Lily tilted her head, confused. "Nobody. I saw it." "Where did you see it?" "In my dreams." Claire felt a chill run down her spine. Marcus, impatient, moved closer. "Claire, that's enough. Let's go." But when his eyes landed on the drawing, something inside him broke. The blue butterfly, the golden spots, the irregular stroke, the same mistake, a part of the left wing unpainted, exactly like Sophia's drawings. His breathing stopped. His heart beat hard against his chest. Claire looked at him, saw the change in his face, the paleness, the shock. Slowly she stood up and took his arm. "Marcus," she whispered. "She looks like your missing daughter." Those words fell like a hammer. Marcus stepped back, shook his head. "No." "Marcus, look at her. Look at her eyes." "I said no!" he shouted. His voice echoed in the street. Some people turned. Lily got scared, stepped back, hugging her drawings against her chest. Marcus grabbed Claire by the arm and pulled her hard. "We're leaving now." Claire tried to resist, but he was already walking toward the car. Before leaving, she turned one last time. Lily was still there, standing, watching them, with tears in her eyes. Then, without warning, the girl ran away. She disappeared into a dark alley. Claire wanted to follow her, but Marcus stopped her. "No. Marcus, please." "I said no. That girl isn't Sophia. Sophia is dead." It was the first time in 12 years he'd said it out loud. Claire looked at him with eyes full of tears. "What if she's not?" Marcus didn't answer, just got in the car and drove off. The silence on the way home was unbearable. Claire looked out the window, crying silently. Marcus drove with white knuckles from gripping the steering wheel so hard. When they arrived at the mansion, she got out without saying a word, went straight to the guest room, closed the door. Marcus was left alone in the living room. He poured himself a whiskey, then another and another, but alcohol didn't silence what he had seen. The blue butterfly, the unpainted wing, Lily's eyes. "No, it's just a coincidence. A girl who draws butterflies, that's all." He repeated those words over and over, but it didn't work. He went up to his office, locked the door. At the back of the closet, hidden behind old folders and documents, there was a wooden box. He hadn't opened it in years. With trembling hands, he took it out, placed it on the desk. He took a deep breath, then opened it. Inside were photos, small toys, a stuffed rabbit, and drawings, dozens of drawings made by Sophia, houses, trees, suns with smiling faces, and butterflies, many butterflies, all blue, all with golden spots, all with the left wing unfinished. Marcus took one of the drawings, mentally compared it with the one he had seen in Lily's hands. They were identical. His hand began to tremble. "No, it can't be." He collapsed in the chair, closed his eyes, and for the first time in 12 years, Marcus Westbrook cried. He didn't sleep that night. He stayed awake until dawn, looking at the drawings. Claire didn't come out of the room. When the sun began to rise, Marcus made a decision. I'm going back. He needed to know, he needed answers. He dressed quickly, took the car keys and left the mansion. He drove back downtown, to the restaurant where they had eaten, to the street where they had seen Lily. He arrived early. The streets were almost empty. He waited. 1 hour, 2 hours. Finally, he saw her. Lily appeared from the same alley. She came alone, carrying her box of drawings. She sat in the same place as the night before. Marcus took a deep breath, got out of the car, walked toward her. Lily saw him approaching. Her eyes widened with fear. She began to back away. No, no. Wait, Marcus said with a soft voice, raising his hands. I'm not going to hurt you, I just want to talk. Lily said nothing, just looked at him with distrust. Marcus knelt in front of her. Lily, right? She nodded slightly. Lily, I need you to tell me something. Who taught you to draw those butterflies? I already told you, nobody, but someone had to teach you, someone had to show you how to make them. Lily shook her head. I see them in my dreams, always the same ones. Marcus felt a lump in his throat. How long have you been dreaming them? Forever. And who takes care of you? Where do you live? Lily looked down. With Miss Aurora. Who is Miss Aurora? Before she could answer, a harsh voice echoed from the alley. Lily! A woman appeared running. She was older, maybe 60 years old. She wore a headscarf and an old dress. Her face was marked by time and poverty, but in her eyes there was something else. Fear. Miss Aurora reached Lily and pulled her arm hard. What are you doing talking to strangers? She yelled at the girl. Then she looked at Marcus. Get away from her. Marcus stood up. I was just talking. I don't want you talking to her. Leave. I need to know who this girl is. It's none of your business. She draws things that only my daughter drew. Miss Aurora froze. Her face paled. Marcus took a step forward. Who are you? Where did this girl come from? The woman tightened her grip on Lily's arm. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. I know it. I see it in your eyes. Miss Aurora began backing away, dragging Lily with her. The girl started crying. Let her go, Marcus shouted, but the woman didn't. She kept backing away until they disappeared into the alley. Marcus ran after them, but when he reached the end of the alley, there was no one, just a rusty metal door, locked with a padlock. He pounded on the door hard. Open up, please! No one answered. He slumped against the wall, breathing heavily. His mind was chaos. What's happening? What is all this? He took out his phone and dialed a number. I need you to investigate someone, a woman named Aurora. She lives on the street. He gave the address. I want to know everything about her. Everything. Marcus returned to the mansion 2 hours later. Claire was in the kitchen drinking coffee. When she saw him enter, she said nothing, just looked at him. Marcus sat across from her. There was something different in his face. He was no longer the man who had yelled the night before. Now there was doubt, fear, hope. I went back, he said in a hoarse voice. Claire put the cup on the table. And? I found her. Lily. I talked to her. What did she tell you? That she sees those butterflies in her dreams. Since forever. Claire felt a chill. Marcus, there's a woman. Her name is Aurora. She takes care of the girl. When I arrived, she took her away. With fear, like she was hiding something. And what are you going to do? Marcus clenched his fists. I'm going to find out who this girl is, and if she has anything to do with Sophia, I'll know. Claire extended her hand and touched his. Don't get your hopes up. Please. I couldn't bear to see you destroy yourself again. Marcus looked into her eyes. I'm already destroyed, Claire. I have been for 12 years. But if there's even a possibility, just one possibility, that my daughter is alive. His voice broke. I have to know. 3 days passed, 3 days in which Marcus barely slept, barely ate, just waited. Finally, his private detective called him. Mr. Westbrook, I have information about Aurora Mitchell. Marcus sat up in his chair. Tell me. She's a 62-year-old woman, widow, no children, lives alone in a small apartment downtown, works washing other people's clothes, no criminal record, nothing out of the ordinary. And the girl? According to the neighbors, Lily appeared about 5 years ago. Miss Aurora said she was her niece, that the mother had died, and she had taken her in. And is it true? There's no record of any niece. There's no birth certificate for Lily. There's nothing. It's as if the girl doesn't officially exist. Marcus felt the floor move under his feet. What are you saying? That this girl has no documents. She's not registered anywhere. And Miss Aurora lied about her origin. Send me the address now. Sir, if you're going, be careful. We don't know what... Marcus hung up. He stood up, took his car keys and rushed out. Claire tried to stop him, but it was useless. He arrived at the building an hour later. It was an old place with peeling walls and narrow stairs. He went up to the 3rd floor, knocked on the door of apartment 3B. No one answered. He knocked again, this time harder. Miss Aurora, I know you're in there. Open the door. Silence. Marcus pounded with his fist. If you don't open, I'll break down the door. Finally, he heard footsteps. The door opened just a few centimeters. Miss Aurora looked at him with eyes full of terror. What do you want? I want to talk. Now. I have nothing to say to you. I know Lily isn't your niece. I know you lied. I know that girl has no documents. The woman's face fell apart. She tried to close the door, but Marcus put his foot in the middle. Either we talk here or we talk to the police. You decide. Miss Aurora trembled. Then slowly she opened the door. Marcus entered. The apartment was small, dark, full of old things. In a corner, sitting in a chair, was Lily. The girl looked at him with fear. Marcus felt his heart break. Hello, Lily, he said with a soft voice. She didn't answer. Miss Aurora closed the door and stood with her arms crossed. Say what you have to say and leave. Marcus stared at her. Where did you get this girl? I already told you she's my niece. That's a lie. You don't have nieces. Lily doesn't exist in any registry. Where did she come from? The woman looked down. Her lips trembled. Miss Aurora collapsed in a chair, crying. I didn't steal her. I found her. Her voice broke. She was alone, crying in the park. I waited. I waited hours. Nobody came for her. Nobody. She looked up at Marcus with swollen eyes. I just hugged her. Marcus clenched his fists, trembling. And you never thought to look for her family? Never? Miss Aurora lowered her head. Every day, but by then, I already loved her as my own. Marcus felt the air escape from his lungs. What? 7 years ago. I found her on the street. She was alone, crying, dirty. Nobody was looking for her. Nobody was asking about her. So, I kept her. You found her? Where? Miss Aurora closed her eyes. In the park. Riverside Park. Marcus felt the world stop. Riverside Park, the same park where Sophia had disappeared. How old was she? I don't know. 5, 6 years old, maybe. Marcus did quick calculations in his mind. Sophia was 7 when she disappeared. 12 years had passed. She should be 19 now. But Lily didn't look more than 12. No, it doesn't make sense. Miss Aurora looked at him with tears in her eyes. I didn't know what to do. I took her to the hospital. They did tests. They said she had severe malnutrition, that she had suffered trauma, that her memory was damaged. What do you mean damaged? That she didn't remember anything, not her name, not where she came from, not who her parents were, nothing. Marcus approached Lily. The girl looked at him with big, scared eyes. Lily, do you remember anything from before being with Miss Aurora? Lily shook her head. Only dreams. What dreams? I dream of a big house, with a swing, with a woman who hugs me, and with a man who calls me. She stopped. Who calls you what? Marcus asked with a trembling voice. Lily looked down. Sophia! The world collapsed. Marcus fell to his knees in front of her. Tears ran down his face. "My God! It's you! It's you!" Miss Aurora sobbed in a corner. "I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know who she was. I just wanted to take care of her." Marcus took Lily's hands. The girl looked at him confused. "Who are you?" she asked with a trembling voice. Marcus smiled through tears. "I'm your dad, Sophia, I'm your dad." Before continuing, if this story is gripping you as much as it grips me telling it, leave me a like. I need to know you're there, that you feel the same as me, because what's coming is going to break your heart. Hit like now, please. But something didn't fit. Something was wrong. Marcus stood up, wiping his tears. His mind began to work. Wait. If she disappeared 12 years ago and she was 7, she should be 19 now. But she's... How old? Miss Aurora swallowed hard. 12. She turned 12 2 months ago. Marcus frowned. That's impossible. The years don't add up. I know. That's why I never said anything. That's why I never took her to the authorities, because I knew nobody would believe me. What are you talking about? The woman approached an old drawer. She took out a yellowed folder. Inside were medical papers. When I took her to the hospital, they did bone age studies, x-rays, tests. She handed the papers to Marcus. He read them with trembling hands. And what he read didn't make sense. According to the studies, Lily had a bone age of 5 years, but 7 years had passed since they found her. This is impossible. The doctors didn't understand. They said it was a unique medical case. Miss Aurora closed her eyes. The trauma left her trapped in a body that barely grows, as if time had forgotten her. Marcus felt the floor move under his feet. "Are you telling me my daughter was missing for 12 years, but only aged 5? Miss Aurora nodded with tears in her eyes. "I don't understand it. Nobody understands it. But it's the truth." Marcus looked at Lily. The girl looked at him with curiosity. "Are you my daddy?" He nodded, crying. "Yes, my love, I'm your daddy, and I never stopped looking for you." Marcus took Lily by the hand. Miss Aurora tried to stop him. "No, you can't take her. She's my daughter. I took care of her, I fed her, I was with her when nobody else was." Marcus stopped. He looked into her eyes. "You kept a girl who wasn't yours. You hid her. You lied to the world. Why?" Miss Aurora sobbed harder. "Because I was alone. Because my husband had died. Because my children never visited me. Because when I saw her, alone, scared, lost, I thought God had sent her to me. God doesn't send lost girls." Miss Aurora collapsed, crying uncontrollably. Lily had tears in her eyes. "I don't want you to go," she told Miss Aurora. The woman looked up, surprised. Lily approached her and hugged her. "You took care of me. You gave me food. You sang to me when I was scared." Miss Aurora hugged her tightly, crying, "Forgive me, my child, forgive me." Marcus felt something inside him break, and he realized something. Miss Aurora wasn't a monster. She was a lonely woman, broken, desperate for love. She had made a terrible decision, but she had done it from pain, not from evil. Marcus knelt in front of both of them. "Miss Aurora, you did something unforgivable, but you also saved my daughter. You took care of her when I couldn't. And I'll never forget that." The woman looked at him with eyes full of tears. "Aren't you going to call the police?" Marcus took a deep breath. "I don't know. I still don't know. But first, I need to understand what happened to my daughter. And I need you to tell me everything. Everything you know." Miss Aurora nodded, and she began to talk. She told him how she found Lily. It was a Sunday afternoon. Miss Aurora had gone to the park to feed the pigeons, something she did every day since her husband died. When she arrived, she saw a girl sitting under a tree. She was dirty, barefoot, crying. Her clothes were torn. She had marks on her arms, as if she had been tied up. Miss Aurora approached. "Are you okay, child?" The girl looked at her with empty eyes. She didn't answer. Miss Aurora sat beside her. "Where's your mum?" Silence. "What's your name?" The girl opened her mouth, but no words came out. Just a sob. Miss Aurora waited. She waited all day. She waited for someone to come looking for her, but nobody came. When night fell, the girl was shivering from cold. Miss Aurora made a decision. She took her home. She bathed her, gave her clean clothes, gave her food. The girl ate as if she hadn't eaten in weeks. That night, while sleeping, the girl screamed. She screamed as if she were in a nightmare. "No, let me go, Daddy, Daddy!" Miss Aurora woke her, hugged her, calmed her. The next day, she took her to the hospital. They did tests. The doctors said she had been abused, that she had signs of severe malnutrition, that she had lost her memory due to deep psychological trauma. "And they didn't ask where she came from?" Marcus interrupted. "Yes, and I lied to them. I told them she was my niece, that she had lived with her mother in another state, that the mother had died, that now I would take care of her. And they believed you?" "They had no reason not to." Marcus clenched his fists. "You should have taken her to the police." "I know, but by then I already loved her. She was already mine." Marcus closed his eyes. "And the butterflies? Why does she draw those butterflies?" Miss Aurora looked at Lily. "She started drawing them a few months after she arrived. At first I didn't pay attention. But then she started drawing only that, over and over, the same butterfly, with the same mistake." "And you never asked her why?" "Yes, but she just said she saw them in her dreams, that there was someone who taught them to her." "Someone? Who?" Lily looked up. "A lady, a pretty lady. She hugs me in my dreams and teaches me to draw butterflies." Marcus felt like he was suffocating. "Rebecca, her mother." Marcus stayed in the apartment for hours, talking to Lily, trying to make her remember, but she couldn't or wouldn't. Her mind had erased everything, everything except the dreams and the butterflies. Finally, Marcus stood up. "I'm going to take her with me to my house so a doctor can see her, so they can do tests." Miss Aurora stood up, scared. "No, please, don't take her from me. She's my daughter." "But I raised her." Both stood in silence, panting. Lily started crying. "I don't want you to fight, and I don't want—" Marcus knelt in front of her. "It's okay, my love. We're not going to fight, but I need you to come with me, just for a while, so doctors can see you, so we can know what happened to you. Okay?" Lily looked at Miss Aurora. The woman nodded, crying, "Go, my child, go with him." Lily approached Miss Aurora and hugged her tight. "I'm going to miss you." "And I'll miss you." Marcus took Lily's hand, and they left the apartment. The way back to the mansion was silent. Lily sat in the back seat looking out the window. Marcus watched her through the rearview mirror. He couldn't believe it. After 12 years, after so much pain. His daughter was alive, but something wasn't right. Something in all this didn't make sense. Why hadn't she aged? What had they done to her? Where had she been during those lost years? He needed answers. When they arrived at the mansion, Claire was waiting at the door. When she saw Lily, she put her hands to her mouth. "Oh my God, it's her! It's her!" She ran toward them and hugged Marcus tightly. "Is it her? Are you sure?" "Yes, it's Sophia. It's my daughter." Claire knelt in front of Lily. "Hello, precious. Do you remember me?" Lily shook her head. Claire smiled with tears in her eyes. "It doesn't matter. I remember you, even though you were smaller." She took her hand and guided her inside. That night, Marcus called the best doctors in the country. Neurologists, psychologists, child trauma specialists. They all came to the mansion to examine Lily. They did tests, MRIs, blood tests, memory tests, and what they found was inexplicable. Lily's brain showed signs of severe trauma, but it also showed something else, something the doctors couldn't explain. There were areas of her brain that were asleep, as if they had been turned off. "It's like someone blocked her memories on purpose," said one of the neurologists. Marcus frowned. "Blocked? How?" "I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. But it's like her mind built a wall to protect her from something." "From what?" "From whatever happened to her during those lost years." Marcus felt a chill. "Can it be recovered? Can she remember again?" "Maybe, with therapy, with time. But I can't promise you anything. Her mind is fragile. If we force the memories, we could damage her more." Marcus nodded. "Do what you have to do, but bring her back. Complete." Weeks passed. Lily began to adapt to her new life, to the mansion, to Claire, to Marcus. But something in her didn't change. She was still distant, as if a part of her was still lost. She kept drawing the same butterflies, over and over. Marcus tried to talk to her. He showed her old photos, videos of when she was little, toys she used to love, but nothing worked. Lily looked at them as if they belonged to someone else. "I don't remember," she always said. And then she went back to her drawings. One night Marcus couldn't sleep. He went down to the kitchen for water. When he passed through the living room, he saw a light on. He approached. Lily was sitting on the floor, drawing. Marcus sat beside her in silence. "Can't sleep?" She shook her head. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "Of the dreams." Marcus frowned. "What do you dream?" Lily stopped drawing. She looked at Marcus with eyes full of tears. "I dream of a dark place, with a bad man. He tells me not to say anything, that if I talk, something bad will happen." Marcus's heart raced. "What else do you dream?" "I dream they take me far away, in a car, and that I cry. I cry a lot, but nobody hears me." Marcus hugged her tightly. "It's over, my love. It's over. Nobody's going to hurt you. Never again." But inside him a dark fury began to grow. Someone had done this to his daughter. Someone had taken her, hidden her, damaged her, and that someone was going to pay. The next day, Marcus hired more private investigators. He gave them a clear order. "I want to know everything that happened that day. I want to review all the cameras, all the testimonies, all the records. Something escaped us 12 years ago, and we're going to find it." The investigators got to work. They reviewed old files, interviewed witnesses again, searched databases, and finally, they found something the police had overlooked, a security camera. At a store near the park. The camera had recorded that day, but the police never reviewed it because it was mislabeled in the archive. Marcus watched the recording, and what he saw froze his blood. In the recording, you could see Sophia, leaving the park, alone, crying, walking down the street, and then a car stopped beside her. A woman got out, talked to her. Sophia hesitated, but then she got in the car, and they disappeared. Marcus paused the recording. He zoomed in on the image. The woman had her face covered with sunglasses and a scarf, but there was something familiar. Marcus zoomed in more, and then he saw it. On the woman's arm, a tattoo, a blue butterfly, with golden spots, the same tattoo that Rebecca had, his wife, Sophia's mother. The world stopped. "No, it can't be." Marcus rewound the recording. He watched it again, and again, and again. There was no doubt. The woman who had taken Sophia was Rebecca, her own mother. Marcus couldn't move. The frozen image on the screen looked at him like an accusation. The tattoo, the blue butterfly, on the arm of the woman who took Sophia. Claire put a hand on his shoulder. "Marcus, are you okay?" He didn't answer, just stared at the screen. And then something inside him broke. It wasn't rage, it wasn't pain. It was something worse, uncertainty. Because if the person who took Sophia was Rebecca, then everything he had believed for 12 years was a lie. If this story hurts your heart, wait, because you still don't know who left her in the park. It wasn't a stranger. It was someone who loved her too much. And what you're about to discover will change everything you thought about this family. Marcus closed the laptop, took the keys, and left the mansion. He was going to find Rebecca, and he wasn't going to stop until she told him the truth, the whole truth. Marcus couldn't breathe. His hands trembled as he held the frozen photograph on the screen. The tattoo, the posture, the way she moved. It was Rebecca, there was no doubt. But why? Why would a mother take her own daughter? Why would she pretend she had been kidnapped? Why would she let him suffer for 12 years? Marcus felt rage burning in his chest, but he also felt something else. Confusion, pain, betrayal. Claire entered the office at that moment. "Marcus, are you okay? You've been locked in here for hours." She stopped when she saw his face. "What happened?" Marcus couldn't speak. He just pointed at the screen. Claire approached. She looked at the image, frowned. "Who is it?" "Rebecca." Claire froze. "What?" "It's Rebecca. My wife. Sophia's mother. She took her." Claire shook her head. "No. It can't be. Why would she do something like that?" "I don't know. But I'm going to find out." Marcus stood up. He took his phone. He dialed a number he hadn't dialed in years. Rebecca's number. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Finally someone answered, but it wasn't Rebecca's voice, it was a male voice. "Who's this?" Marcus frowned. "Who are you?" "I want to talk to Rebecca." "Rebecca's not available." "Where is she?" "That's none of your business." "I'm her husband, or I was." There was silence. Then the voice said, "Rebecca doesn't want to talk to you, ever." "Well, tell her I found Sophia, and I know she took her." Silence. A long silence. Finally the voice said, "You don't know what you're talking about." "I have the recording. I can send it to you if you want." Another silence. Then, "Leave Rebecca alone, if you know what's good for you." And he hung up. Marcus gripped the phone so hard he almost broke it. Claire looked at him with concern. "Marcus, maybe we should call the police." "No." "But if she—" "I said no." Claire backed away, scared. Marcus closed his eyes, breathing deeply. "Sorry. I didn't mean to yell. It's just that I need to understand. I need to know why, and the police won't give me those answers." "Then what are you going to do?" Marcus looked at the screen. "I'm going to find her, and I'm going to make her tell me the truth." Marcus hired a professional tracker. He gave him Rebecca's phone number. He gave him all the information he had. "Find her. I don't care how much it costs." It took him 2 days. 2 days in which Marcus barely slept, barely ate, just waited. Finally the tracker called him. "I found her." "Where?" "In a small town 3 hours from here. She lives under another name, with a man. They're in a house on the outskirts." Marcus felt his heart beat hard. "Send me the address." "Mr. Westbrook, there's something else you should know." "What?" "Rebecca. She's sick, very sick." Marcus frowned. "Sick with what?" "I don't know for sure, but the neighbors say she barely leaves the house, that she needs constant care." Marcus hung up. He took his car keys. Claire tried to stop him. "Marcus, wait, let me go with you." "No, this is something I have to do alone. Please, they don't do anything crazy." Marcus looked into her eyes. "I'm not going to hurt her. I just want answers." And he left. The trip was long. Marcus drove in silence, his mind full of questions. What would he say when he saw her? How would she react? What had led Rebecca to do something so terrible? Finally, he arrived at the town. It was small, quiet, surrounded by mountains. He followed the address they had given him. The house was at the end of a dirt road. It was modest, with white walls and a neglected garden. Marcus parked the car. He took a deep breath and got out. He walked to the door, rang the bell. No one answered. He rang again. Finally, the door opened. A man in his 50s looked at him with suspicion. "What do you want?" "I want to talk to Rebecca." "She's not here." "I know she's here. I saw her car." The man tried to close the door, but Marcus put his foot in the middle. "Please, I just want to talk, 5 minutes. I already told you she's not here." I'm Marcus. Marcus Westbrook, her husband. The man froze. Then, slowly, he opened the door. She doesn't want to see you. I don't care. I need to talk to her. It's about Sophia. The man closed his eyes. Come in. Marcus entered the house. It was simple but clean. There were photos on the walls. Photos of Rebecca and of a boy. Marcus frowned. Who's that boy? The man didn't answer. He just guided him down a hallway. He stopped in front of a closed door. She's in there, but don't stay too long. She gets tired easily. Marcus nodded. The man opened the door, and Marcus entered. The room was in shadows. The curtains were closed. There was a smell of medicine. In the center there was a bed, and in the bed was Rebecca. But she wasn't the Rebecca Marcus remembered. This woman was thin, pale, with short, dull hair. She had tubes connected to her arm, and her breathing was slow, labored. Marcus felt the floor move under his feet. Rebecca. She opened her eyes, looked at him, and smiled weakly. Hello, Marcus. Her voice was barely a whisper. Marcus approached slowly. He sat in a chair next to the bed. What happened to you? Rebecca closed her eyes. Cancer, terminal stage. I have maybe 2 months left. Marcus felt something inside him break. Despite everything, despite the betrayal, the pain, the lies, he still felt something for her. I'm sorry, he said in a hoarse voice. Rebecca opened her eyes. Don't be. I deserve it. Marcus shook his head. Nobody deserves this. They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Marcus spoke. I need you to tell me the truth. Why did you do it? Why did you take Sophia? Rebecca coughed. A dry, painful cough. Marcus waited in silence. She took a deep breath before speaking. Because I was sick, Marcus. Mentally sick. And I didn't know it. What? After Sophia was born, I started having episodes, dark thoughts, paranoia. I believed someone wanted to hurt her, that the world was dangerous, that I had to protect her from everything. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was scared. Scared you'd think I was crazy. Scared they'd take my daughter away. Marcus closed his eyes. Rebecca. The thoughts got worse. I started believing you were a danger too, that you were going to hurt her, that I had to take her away from you. I know now, but at that moment I couldn't think clearly, so I planned everything. I waited for the perfect moment and I took her. Marcus felt rage return. And where did you have her? What did you do to her? Rebecca coughed, this time harder. Marcus waited, his heart pounding violently. Rebecca took a deep breath before continuing. I took her to a place, a cabin in the mountains. I thought she'd be safe there. She closed her eyes, as if the memory burned her. Away from everything, away from you. Marcus felt his chest tighten. For how long? Rebecca swallowed with difficulty. 3 years. The machine beside her beeped. Marcus stood up, trembling. 3 years? You had her locked up for 3 years? Rebecca began to sob. I got worse. The voices in my head wouldn't stop. I saw shadows that didn't exist. I believed they were coming for her, that they were going to take her from me. Her voice broke. Sophia was scared of me. She cried every night. She begged to come back to you. Marcus covered his face with his hands. His shoulders shook. Rebecca extended a trembling hand toward him, but didn't reach him. One night, I lost control. I yelled at her. I scared her. She ran toward the door. She stopped, coughed again. This time, harder. The man who was taking care of her entered quickly, adjusted something on the machine, and left silently. Rebecca was breathing with difficulty. Marcus waited, his heart pounding violently. I tried to stop her, but she fell. Rebecca's tears fell uncontrollably. She hit her head, started bleeding, wouldn't wake up. Marcus felt the world stop. I took her to the hospital. I lied to them. I told them it was an accident, and it was. But it was my fault. When she woke up, she didn't recognize me. She didn't remember anything. Not her name. Not me. Not you. Marcus collapsed in the chair, crying. Rebecca closed her eyes. I knew I had destroyed her. So I left her at the park, alone. I thought someone would find her, that they'd take her to you. Her breathing became slower. But that didn't happen, and I didn't have the strength to fix anything anymore. Marcus couldn't speak. He just cried. He cried for Sophia, for what she had suffered, for the lost years, for the mother who had betrayed her. Rebecca looked toward the window. The trauma left her trapped in a body that barely grows, as if time had forgotten her. Rebecca closed her eyes, her voice broken. The doctors didn't understand, neither did I. I just watched my daughter freeze in time. Marcus stood up. He walked toward the door. Wait, Rebecca said in a weak voice. Marcus stopped. Is she okay? Is Sophia okay? Marcus didn't turn around. She's alive. That's all you need to know. Can I see her? Just once. Before I die. Marcus clenched his fist. No. You don't deserve to see her. Please, Marcus, you destroyed her life. You destroyed my life. You took 12 years from us, and now you want me to forgive you. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want to see her one last time. Marcus opened the door. Goodbye, Rebecca. And he left. The trip back was a blur. Marcus cried as he drove. He cried for Sophia, for what she had suffered, for the lost years, for the mother who had betrayed her. When he arrived at the mansion, Claire was waiting at the door. She hugged him without saying anything. She just held him while he cried. That night Marcus didn't tell Lily anything. He didn't tell her he had found her mother. He didn't tell her the truth about what had happened. Not yet, maybe never, because some truths are too painful, and some mothers don't deserve to be remembered. Weeks passed. Lily continued with her therapy. Slowly she began to recover fragments of memory, small flashes, a song, a smell, a sensation, but nothing complete, nothing that connected her with her past. Marcus decided that was okay, that maybe it was better that way, that she could start over, without the weight of the past, without the shadows of what she had suffered. But one night, something changed. It was late. Marcus was in his office working. Claire was sleeping. Suddenly he heard a scream that froze his blood. He ran to Lily's room. He burst through the door. Lily was sitting on the bed, trembling, crying. Mom! Mom! Marcus ran to her. I'm here, my love. I'm here. No, her. I saw her. I saw her in my dream. Who did you see? Mom. But she was scared, and crying, and asking me for forgiveness. Marcus felt his chest tighten. It was just a dream, my love. No, it wasn't a dream. It was real. I felt her. Lily clung to Marcus tightly. Dad, where's Mom? Marcus closed his eyes. She can't be with you now. Why? Because she's sick. Lily looked at him with eyes full of tears. Is she going to die? Marcus couldn't lie. Yes. Lily started crying harder. I want to see her. Please, I want to see her before she goes. Marcus felt the world crashing down on him. My love, I don't think that's a good idea. Please, Dad, please. Marcus looked into her eyes, and he saw something he hadn't seen before. Pain, need, forgiveness, and he knew he couldn't refuse. The next day, Marcus called the man Rebecca lived with. I'm going to bring her someone, just for a moment. Tell her to get ready. Who? Her daughter. There was silence. Then, okay, we'll be waiting. The trip was silent. Lily sat in the back seat looking out the window. Marcus watched her through the rearview mirror. Are you sure you want to do this? Lily nodded. I need to see her. When they arrived, the man greeted them at the door. She's very weak. Don't tire her out too much. Marcus nodded. He took Lily's hand, and they entered. Rebecca was in the bed, paler than before, thinner, could barely keep her eyes open. When she saw Lily enter, a sob escaped her. Sophia. Lily approached slowly. She sat on the bed next to her. Rebecca extended a trembling hand. Lily took it. "Mom!" Rebecca started crying. "Forgive me, my love. Forgive me for everything. I don't understand what happened. I don't remember." "It's okay. It's okay you don't remember. I just want you to know I loved you. That I always loved you, even though I did everything wrong." Lily nodded, crying. "I love you too, Mum." Rebecca smiled, a smile full of pain, but also peace. "Take care of your dad. He needs you." "I will." Rebecca looked at Marcus. Thank you for bringing her." Marcus didn't respond, he just nodded. They stayed there for an hour, talking, crying, forgiving. When they left, Lily gave Rebecca one last kiss on the forehead. "Goodbye, Mum." Rebecca closed her eyes. "Goodbye, my love." 2 weeks later, Rebecca died, in peace, surrounded by silence. Marcus went to the funeral, not for her, but for Lily. Lily cried, but she also smiled, because she knew her mom, despite everything, had loved her. Months passed. Lily began to fully adapt to her new life. She started going to therapy regularly, making friends, smiling more. The doctors said her body was starting to recover, that her development was normalizing, that maybe with time she could lead a normal life. Marcus watched her grow every day, and he felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope. One night during dinner, Lily spoke. "Dad, can I go see Miss Aurora?" Marcus stopped. "Are you sure?" "Yes, I miss her. She took care of me too. She loved me too." Marcus nodded. "Okay." The next day they went together to Miss Aurora's apartment. The woman opened the door and, seeing Lily, started crying. "My child. My child." Lily ran to her and hugged her. "I missed you. And I missed you." Miss Aurora looked at Marcus. Thank you for bringing her." Marcus nodded. She wanted to come. Miss Aurora smiled through tears. They stayed there all afternoon, talking, laughing, remembering. When they left, Marcus told Miss Aurora, "You can come visit her whenever you want. You'll always be welcome." The woman looked at him with eyes full of gratitude. Thank you for forgiving me." Marcus said nothing. He just smiled, because he had learned something important. That forgiveness wasn't just for others, it was also for oneself. Marcus Westbrook had built empires, he had accumulated wealth, he had conquered the business world, but none of that mattered, because the only thing that really mattered was love. The love of a daughter who had come back home, the love of a woman who had taught him to feel again, the love of an old woman who had cared for his daughter when no one else did, and self-love, forgiveness, the ability to move forward even after the deepest pain, because life isn't about how much you have, it's about how much you love, and how much you're willing to fight for those you love. Marcus learned that pain can build walls, or it can open doors, that rage can destroy, or it can transform, that the past can chain you, or it can free you, and that forgiveness is the only path to peace. And you, what do you think of this story? Do you think Marcus did the right thing by forgiving? Do you think Rebecca deserved to see her daughter one last time? Leave me your comment down below. Tell me where you're watching from. And if this story touched your heart like it touched mine, share it, because there's someone out there who needs to hear it, because we all deserve a second chance, we all deserve love, and we all deserve forgiveness. Thank you for staying until the end. See you in the next story. God bless you.